interest, Paul Thurrott?
Interest rates?
Are they going to give me interest on my money when they pay me back for this guy?
Yeah, we both got some refunds coming, I guess.
Did you buy one of these?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think I might have bought two of them.
How much were they? I
can't even remember. $50-ish.
Oh, I was hoping it was like $3,000.
Bought a game. Yeah. I bought a game. I bought. Actually, I might have bought two games.
Yeah, I think I bought a game for sure.
I did buy one game. I might have actually. Doom might have just been on the service or something.
Yes, but
we're getting paid back for our monthly fees. Probably not.
No. Nice. Well, no, I thought they said they would.
No, I mean I was only a subscriber for 4 months or something.
Yeah. Anyways, for people who have no idea what we're talking about, Google Stadia is finito. They announced this yesterday in a blog post, and based on all the other chatter around from other developers, it looked like nobody actually knew this was coming, because there were a lot of tweets from smaller game developers, even some larger ones, who said, hey, our games are launching on Stadia next week.
Right.
What's going on? And they're now scrambling, assuming they're not going to get paid more than likely from Google for this.
It's worse than that. Google, I think the same day or the day before, announced some changes to the Stadia UI. It's like, I don't think they told anybody. I mean, this year is turning into another 2008. So, everyone's scaling back. Meta just said I think they're freezing hiring or something.
And expected layoffs there. Yep.
Layoffs, So, tech companies are really reining it in. And Google, very explicitly, and Sundar Pichai got in some trouble for this with employees, was talking about scaling back and focusing on things. They killed the Pixel book, next Pixel book. I mean, if you were to look at their consumer offerings and said, hey, we need to trim back, like what's not successful where we could save some money. I mean, I think Stadia, unfortunately, would be on that list. But, it's not like Google tried very hard with this thing. They came out of the gate with the best streaming tech imaginable. That combination, that controller you were holding up has this Wi-Fi connection, direct Wi-Fi connection.
It's good.
Which
it's
really
comfy.
Solves a problem, which is the latency issue, which is really bad on cloud streaming and makes games like first-person shooters and fast action games very difficult, especially multiplayer, right? It's like impossible. So I'm not saying they solved it, but Luna, the Amazon Luna has a similar tech, which actually is very good. They just don't have a great game library, or so at least not the last time I looked. And Xbox cloud gaming is great, but they don't really have that kind of tech. I'm surprised Microsoft hasn't, and I suspect they will come out with something called a Xbox cloud gaming controller, wireless, whatever they call it, and it will similarly have a direct Wi-Fi connection.
Yep, they should. If they don't, they should. So,
yep.
Either way, the Stadia will live in quotes until roughly mid-January, and they're expected to have all refunds issued by then. And then around that time, I think it's like late January 23rd or something like that. It's done. Like they're just going to flip the switch. Format C:, and they're done.
Yeah. I'm this stuff is kind of boiling around in my brain, but there's a big issue with Google, and it's not the one everyone's thinking about, which is like killedbygoogle.com. It's that they don't really go all in on things. They do what Microsoft does. They dabble, and they have these core products. Microsoft has Office and Windows. Google has Maps and Search and Gmail and whatever, and people rely on them, and they'll never stop using them. But then Microsoft will do something like Microsoft Band. You get all these people, not all these people, you get the small group of people that are like super excited about it. They see the advances in the technology, how incredible it is with all those sensors and everything. But Microsoft screws it up. They don't go all in. They only release it in the United States. The first version is a physical disaster with the bands and everything. And they release one update and like major improvements. Here we go. And then they kill it, and then they kill Microsoft Health, and then everyone's sitting there holding nothing because it's dead, but wondering what to do next. And Google people know that feeling as well, and certainly Stadia customers can relate.
Oh,
I don't know what the answer is there.
Yeah, Microsoft's killed their fair share of stuff. And one thing that Microsoft did yesterday, Paul, throughout that makes me Apple has done this.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft did it yesterday, and it just annoys the hell out of me. They announced that coming in the beta build, you can now right-click on the taskbar and get Task Manager again.
Yeah.
And they're all like shooting fireworks off, applauding, patting themselves on the back. And it just annoys the hell out of me that this feature existed for 20 plus years. They took it away for a year, and then
Everyone
they give it back, and they're like, "We're the heroes of the universe. Like we listen to you."
You don't get to celebrate yourself fixing a problem that you caused.
Right.
Yeah. And by the way, this is, like you said, is in, I don't know if it's in the beta or dev channel, whatever it is. This is something that won't ship to Windows users until next year. So
that's my other question, Paul. Will it? I mean, let's be honest here. Is it going to come in a moment?
No, I
Is it
see.
gonna...
Well, look,
Like-
okay, look, that's another Microsoft issue, the uncertainty around when things happen or if they happen. Okay, fair enough. I think it's fair to say this one will probably make it. It's a minor change. The big question is timing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I mean, they test features, and that doesn't mean they're coming. But we're looking at, you're telling me that you took this feature away for 2 years for no reason whatsoever. And this actually, look, I just mentioned this on Twitter the other day. I still right-click the taskbar looking for this thing. Every time I write something like that, someone and some group of someones will give me the list of other ways in which you can launch this thing, to which I say, yeah, I know those lists. I know those things. I wrote a book about Windows. The issue is I have muscle memory, and this is the way I do it. And it's gone. And I still, a year in, I'm still looking for it. So when Windows 11 first was announced and you started seeing what was missing and what's going on here, I predicted that this thing will start off clean and simple because that's their goal. People will complain, and slowly and begrudgingly, they'll just keep adding stuff back. And that in 2-3 years, whatever it is, we're going to be, Windows 11 will still look like Windows 11, but it will have all the stuff that we complain about, and it will just be as cluttered and stupid as Windows always was. So it's like you can't do one with, you can't just simplify without removing stuff. And if you add stuff back, it's not simple anymore. So it's like you have to make a decision whether you're going to do this thing or you're not going to do this thing. And I think, unfortunately for Windows, trying to simplify it was the wrong decision because Windows is not simple.
That's the whole point of it.
Right. Look, these are people who use PowerShop. They use Photoshop, or Premiere, or Microsoft Office, which the desktop version is an incredibly complex and powerful application. This is not TikTok, guys.
Yeah.
This is lots of knobs and buttons.
The other thing they announced, and they got so close to making it what we needed. So close. So they got done saying, listen to you, put your feedback in. So now, with the snipping tool, we'll now auto-save into a folder that is nested inside, I think, your pictures folder, and it's called screenshots. You cannot change that destination, which is what everybody on the planet wants to be able to do. Me personally, and there's a startup product that allows you to work around this, but me personally, I want it to save right to my desktop because I'm usually taking a screenshot and I'm sending it to Paul because it's hilarious or whatever, and I don't want to go digging for it. And it's like, we're so close. Like, so.
This too is a classic. Look, I mean, to be fair, I mean, screenshots is where screenshots go today. If you do like Windows key plus print screen, that's where it goes. By the way, if you do Alt Windows key plus print screen to capture a window, not the screen, that is captured by the Xbox game bar for some reason, and that goes to videos/captures.
Excellent.
So the thing you're describing, this is just the wonderful inconsistency of Windows, which is so beautiful to me. But the thing you're describing is very much what they did with the start menu, which was they came up with this Windows 11 start menu. I demonstrated that you could remove every icon from the top section, pinned, and they would just have a giant empty thing sitting there, like the bottom recommended thing would never auto-size to fill the empty space, which is what it should do. That's how sophisticated things work. Well, that's how common sense works. And their reaction was 1 year later to give you 3 layout choices in the start menu and say, see, we solved it. And it's like, no, you didn't solve it. You took a baby step toward a solution. And the snipping tool, or whatever we're calling it this year, will now autosave to the screenshots folder. Yay! A baby step toward the solution that people actually want and need, which is what you're saying, which is, yes, do that by default, but give people the power to customize that location. Simple.
If only there was some sort of third-party application that allowed you to.
If there was just a company,
I know,
say,
just
maybe a small company, a big company, it doesn't matter, but a company that makes software that fixes the problems that Microsoft creates.
if only they exist. They'd probably do pretty well, I would imagine. But
I would think so. I mean,
it is a hard computer
probably
science
hire
problem.
one of my friends away from the company he works at with me, and I'm just imagining an alternate reality. The point is, that would be an interesting world to live in. Yeah.
And the other thing worth bringing up, Ignite, October 12th through the 14th. The session catalog is online. The only thing, Paul, throughout that I care about, the only thing, and if it's not there, I'll start drinking. I mean, I'm probably going to drink anyways, but I'm going to start drinking more, is loops.
Yep.
It has to be showing up. If we don't get the loop app that...
We've said this at Ignite last year.
Yep.
We said this at Build. Build makes sense. Developer conference.
Yeah, we could do it there. Nope.
I think Loop appeared one time in one press release, as a mention. Yeah, 100%. Someone in Ask Paul this morning has asked me, I was just starting to type my responses. What are your expectations or whatever from Ignite? Literally one. It's like if Loop doesn't occur, I give up.
Give up. I mean, it started as fluid components, then they rebranded them to loops. They've been showing it off 65 different times. And then it's like, where are they?
This new Viva stuff, Brad. I don't know. Into Viva. It used to be HR or something.